Bangor. From the Great Northwoods to the Rock Mount Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, the two Maine candidates for governor lock horns in a spirited debate.
Plus, why Bangor police will send a social worker instead of an officer to certain calls for help.
And a troubling report shows math and reading scores dropped while Maine students dealt with the pandemic.
Apparently a lot of that going on all around the country. Maine students are not alone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Craig Colson.
And I'm Emma Smith. It's looking like the rainy trend is going to continue on throughout today and into tomorrow.
Yeah, at least for a couple more days. For more of what we can expect, let's turn things over to Conrad.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. It's Tuesday, and our first weather is brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with a large supply of ammo in stock. Custom Damascus knives, fishing supplies of all kinds, concealed weapons classes, and a full line of Dragonfly UV tackle, plus the latest in ultraviolet tackle. Call today. I would definitely give them a call with all this weather outside. Rain showers, not the nicest day to do anything really outside. Scattered showers are in the area right now, and doesn't look like much is left, but hey, there's always going to be more coming in. Right now, a little bit still lingering in upstate New York, close to Connecticut, but all of this right here by Chicago, all of that heavier rain will continue to move this way, just like that. As it continues to move north and east, we will get more rain. We do also have some fog in the area, low visibilities with some of that rain as well. Half a mile visibility in Bangor and pretty much across the state, near zero in some locations. So really slow down, take extra precautions for your morning commute. But once that fog lifts, temperatures will rise. 67 degrees as a high today. Scattered rain showers continuing throughout the day. Tonight will be very mild, close to 60 degrees as a low. Wow, for this time of year, this is well above average. Cloudy skies, some really light rain, it might be possible, and areas of dense fog once again will be developing. And later on today, will continue to warm up as high temperatures reach those mid to upper 60s. Craig and Emma?
Thanks, Conrad. We'll begin with the latest from the campaign trail. In just 2 weeks from today, Maine voters will decide who will lead the state as governor for the next 4 years. And last night, people got to hear from both Governor Janet Mills and former Governor Paul LePage on where they stand on the issues during a debate with our media partners at the WGME TV and the Bangor Daily News. Reporter Owen Kingsley gives us a look.
But those checks have done a lot to help people address inflation.
Monday night's gubernatorial debate began with Governor Janet Mills touting her accomplishments in her first term in office, including the $850 relief checks to most Maine people that were given out earlier this year. Former Governor Paul LePage was quick to criticize, calling the relief checks a gimmick.
This governor spends money like a drunken sailor. My opponent, she hasn't made it better. She's making it worse. Her policies pushing higher electric prices,
which launched into solutions for lowering the cost of electricity. LePage pushing for investments in hydropower dams, with Mills arguing for solar and wind and blaming LePage for not doing more to diversify power sources.
Our energy prices have increased because of our dependence on fossil fuels, pure and simple.
The candidates disagreed on how best to push back against new federal lobstering restrictions. LePage wants the state to join a lawsuit against NOAA, claiming Mills wasn't doing enough.
I fought the Trump administration, I'm fighting the Biden administration, and I will continue to fight the president and the federal government.
After the Supreme Court reversed Roe v. Wade earlier this year, both candidates were asked if they have any desire to change current laws surrounding access to abortion here in Maine.
As long as I'm governor, a woman's right to reproductive health care will not be considered dispensable, and my veto pen will stand in the way of any effort to undermine, roll back, or outright eliminate the right to safe and legal abortion in Maine.
I would prefer adoption over abortion. But the law of the state of Maine is the law, and I honored it for 8 years, and I will continue to.
And in their final statements, a direct plea to Maine people for their vote.
My record is clear. I have the skill set to navigate through recessions and high inflation times. I appreciate your vote on November 8th.
But in me, you will find a governor who tells you the truth, who works to fight problems, not people, and who will deliver solutions, not vitriol. I would be grateful for your vote on November 8th.
Now, we should also mention also on the ballot this year is independent candidate Sam Hunkler, but because he did not reach a 5% on a publicly released poll, he did not qualify for last night's debate. We should say that was Owen Kingsley reporting. Moving on now, the Kennebec County Grand Jury has indicted a Kennebec County Sheriff's deputy. 29-year-old Daniel Ross of West Gardner was arrested in August after a report was made to the Kennebec County Sheriff's Department that Ross had been assaulting his wife while off duty. Deputies contacted Maine State Police after speaking with his wife, and as a result of the investigation, troopers arrested Deputy Ross while he was on duty. He is currently on paid administrative leave. Ross was indicted on 15 counts, including domestic violence assault, domestic violence, criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon, unlawful sexual contact, and gross sexual assault. An Oregon man was also indicted by the grand jury. 26-year-old Damian Sanchez was arrested by Augusta police after he allegedly raped his girlfriend, struck her in the head with a beer bottle, and also strangled her at an Augusta hotel in August. Police say their 1-year-old son was with them when that alleged incident happened. A man who was the subject of a 3-day search after escaping from the Riverview Psychiatric Center in Augusta was also indicted. Officials say 32-year-old Anthony Wack was placed at the center after he was found not criminally responsible for multiple charges, including theft and burglary. According to police, he escaped from that facility within 24 hours of being brought there. He was eventually found in New Hampshire and is now indicted for escape.
The Waldo County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help locating a missing girl. They say 14-year-old Ariana Montgomery was last seen on October 14th in Orland. Montgomery left the residence with a friend and has not returned home. She has been in contact with family via Snapchat, but hasn't been heard from since Saturday. Any information should be directed to Detective Casey Ashey at the Waldo County Sheriff's Office, phone number being 338-2040.
2 people were arrested in Clifton Monday morning on drug charges.
This morning we conducted a search warrant for the investigation of drugs. And during this search warrant, 2 subjects were arrested. One was going to be a male. His name's Michael Drake, about 54 years old. And the second one was a female named Jessica Lovely. She's about 36 years old.
The arrests happened at 40 Scotts Point Road. The Sheriff's Department says a search was conducted at approximately 7 o'clock yesterday morning, and 315 grams of methamphetamine, along with almost 5 grams of fentanyl, along with some undisclosed amount of drug proceeds, all recovered from that home. The search comes after a months-long investigation into drug trafficking. Lovely has been charged with aggravated trafficking of scheduled drugs and violation of conditions of release, while Drake is charged with aggravated trafficking of scheduled drugs and unlawful trafficking of scheduled drugs.
Bangor will soon be launching a program where social workers will be called to welfare checks instead of police officers. Matthew Jurancic has the story.
In an effort to minimize interactions between law enforcement and people experiencing a mental health crisis, this city is creating a community assistance team to deal with these issues.
We're going to kind of cut out the middleman of the police so the police can answer police calls.
The Bangor Police Department was granted $285,000 in this year's annual budget to create the program. Sergeant McAmley says this program will greatly benefit patrol officers as it will positively impact their workloads.
We're looking at optimistically a 50% reduction in the number of welfare checks we have to go to in a year, which would be approximately 2,000 calls for service.
This team would be responsible for calls involving people struggling with mental health crises but don't pose an actual threat. McAmley understands that there will likely be a period of adjustment.
I expect that we'll have a couple of officers that are going to have to go with these groups, or whoever goes out, this group for a while, and just to help them along and learn their role. And we expect that, and we're ready to deal with it until they can kind of get up and going on their own.
McAmley is optimistic that the program will make a difference both for officers and the community they serve.
If this works, or if even parts of this work, we can make parts of this work, I think that'll be fantastic. Maybe it won't be perfect, and we're going to have to tweak it along the way. So what? As long as we get something that we can work with and fix, if there's a part of it that's broken, we're moving ahead.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
And the time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll have the latest on new test results from a study that show math and reading scores nationwide have dropped.
But first, let's take another look at that forecast. A rainy day in store today, but it's going to be quite warm for the season. Highs of around 67 degrees, dropping to about 58 tonight. That rain is continuing from tonight into tomorrow, where the highs will be around mid-60s.
Joe Biden is crushing Maine. And who does Jared Golden support?
Golden's backing Biden.
Jared Golden said Joe Biden has
leadership that the country needs right now.
Higher taxes, record inflation, and still
Golden's backing Biden.
In D.C., Joe Biden relies on Jared Golden's votes.
President Joe Biden, and I'm asking you to vote for Jared Golden.
Jared Golden says he's independent, but anytime it matters, Golden's backing Biden.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
This is an important message for everyone on Medicare. Attention everyone on Medicare. Today we are talking about Medicare Part C, commonly called Medicare Advantage. If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans with extra benefits simply not covered under Medicare Parts A and B. That's right, there are people on Medicare but don't have a Medicare Part C plan, which covers everything in Part A and Part B, plus some may include extra benefits only in Medicare Part C. Here's the good news. Everyone on Medicare can call now during the Medicare annual enrollment period. We will check to see if you may be missing out on a Medicare Part C plan with additional benefits. Call the number on your screen. Don't wait. The deadline for the annual enrollment period is December 7th. Call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. You don't get Medicare Part C plan benefits automatically, so call now before the deadline for your free, no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Just call 800-804-9851. 800-804-9851.
When Rowell's Garage in Dover Foxcroft wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance.
Breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. A fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, and your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. Breakfast bagels are back, but only for a limited time.
Welcome back. New test results show math and reading scores nationwide are at their lowest point in decades. This is the first nation's report card since the start of the pandemic. Mal Meyer has more on what this means for Maine.
More than 400,000 U.S. students across America took the test from the U.S. Department of Education's National Center for Education Statistics earlier this year. On average, the scores were the lowest seen in decades.
If this is not a wake-up call for us to double down our efforts and improve education, even before before the pandemic, then I don't know what will.
In Maine, reading scores dropped by 8 points at both the 4th and 8th grade levels. Math scores varied by level, but both are on the decline compared to 2019.
But I'm calling on all leaders throughout the country to look at this as a call to action, to invest in education so that we don't go backwards.
But Maine officials downplayed these test results, saying it, quote, provides a limited and narrow snapshot of the academic performance of a small group of 4th and 8th graders, and added, those students randomly selected to take the test account for about 2% of Maine's pre-K through 12th graders. Some agree that it's limited, but
it's also telling a story that we already know exists.
Superintendents tell us the results are clear that COVID has had a significant impact on students.
And we've been working to try to address that and adjust that for probably a year or more now, just trying to figure out what is the next step.
For Gorham Superintendent Heather Perry, it's an opportunity to find a new way forward by addressing mental health and emotional needs, redefining success, and changing how they teach.
Doing the same thing we did before the pandemic in the same time frame that we did before the pandemic probably isn't going to address some of the challenges that we're facing now.
For Perry, that means thinking differently about what classrooms look like and how they're engaging students.
The Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles unveiled a new system with customer convenience in mind. AJ Douglas tells us more.
A time saver, a tool for parents, a tool for busy people. Monday, the Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles announced a new appointment system, which allows patrons to set up appointments online from 1 to 20 days in advance. The policy is credited to updated technology advancements with the busy Mainer in mind.
People are so busy, and especially working parents and people who have full-time jobs that might not be very flexible. Sometimes people have to take a whole day off from work to make sure that they get back in time, and this really eliminates that.
Walk-in services will still be available at all BMV locations. Secretary of State Shana Bellows reminds Mainers about existing online services such as registration renewals and vehicle title replacements. Bellows says this will serve as a resource, especially to those having to travel long distances to visit any of the 13 branches across the state.
People that are traveling from rural areas, sometimes that combined travel time plus the time of the Bureau of Motor Vehicles is significant.
Bellows reminds everyone that Real ID services must be handled in person. To schedule an appointment at a local BMV, log on to maine.gov. In Augusta, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
I'm all for making it quicker and easier when it comes to the BMV.
Absolutely. Right there with you.
Everybody has their nightmare stories.
Right, right. Well, the time is now 8:16. After the break, the local sheriff's department has decided to change their uniforms.
Plus, we'll check out the process behind the tradition of student mock elections. That and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Interest rates are on the rise and making waves in the real estate market. Buying or selling? You need a navigator. I'm Holly Taylor. Come to the one who gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50, which is great, but it's gonna take some planning.
What can you do for me?
So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP, to help your money live as long as you do. The money you earn, the money you splurge,
I'm going in.
and the money you save.
I just bought that. Huh, I just sold that.
That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin, he went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here, for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Homes are selling in a single day. The real work happens well before. I'm Holly Taylor, and I have the expertise to guide you through your home improvements. Come to the one who gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
An annual tradition held by the Secretary of State's office continues this week. The Maine Student Mock Election is available for grades ranging from kindergarten to high school. Secretary of State Shana Bellows plans to talk to students about the importance of voting rights by visiting the schools. The virtual initiative allows schools that sign up to have access to video accounts of political candidates to review their objectives in an open platform without bias.
We're really excited about this because for people voting for the first time, it can be intimidating. If you've never seen a ballot, you don't know how voting works. But we think the video offers a nice snapshot of who the candidates are and what they stand for that will help the students make their choices on their mock election ballot this week.
Around 155 schools are participating in the Maine Students Mock Elections this week. For more information, you can visit foxbangor.com.
The Hancock County Sheriff's Office has adopted a new look when it comes to their uniforms. The familiar brown uniforms that the Sheriff's Department used to wear are no more. Hancock County sheriffs have gone green. Sheriff Scott Kane tells us they had trouble finding some of the brown pieces of their uniforms when they would wear out. The only option was to pick a new color, so they've gone green.
And they look pretty good, too.
I like green, obviously.
Yeah, it's nice to have a change every now and then, too. So.
Yep.
Well, the time now is 8:20.
Let's get a full look at that forecast. Conrad Zapinski has all the details.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. Our main weather today is brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with a large supply of ammo in stock. Custom Damascus knives, fishing supplies of all kinds, concealed weapons classes, and a full line of Dragonfly UV tackle, plus the latest in ultraviolet tackle. Call today. All right, rain, go away. Once again, rain showers are in the area. It is all scattered and light. A couple of rumbles of thunder are possible closer to Machias, but all that is continuing to move out of the area. Doesn't look like we have much rain left, but just to the west, right by Chicago, Wisconsin area, all that rain will continue to push north and east. And as it does, we will get hit with more incoming rain. That heavier batches of rain will be here pretty much by tomorrow early afternoon, lasting throughout the day, really picking up in intensity. Maybe some rumbles of thunder could be possible, especially by the coast, so do not be surprised, but really heavy rain overall will be moving in before finally starting to taper off overnight on Wednesday. So Thursday looks pretty good for us. We're thinking anywhere from half an inch to an inch of rain. A couple locations will get a lot more than that. Look at Bar Harbor coming in at 1.36. This is an estimate. They might get close to 1.5, maybe even 2 inches of rain in localized spots. Dew points are also a little bit on the higher end today, tomorrow, and then once again on Thursday. But look what happens right after that rain moves out. Really drops significantly. So by Friday morning and then right in time for the weekend, it is going to look perfect. Not going to feel as sticky as it has been feeling the last couple of days. We do also have some dense fog in the area, half-mile visibility in Bangor, and pretty much near half a mile to a mile all across the state. Besides Bar Harbor is one of the only locations coming in with pretty much no fog in the area. So leave a little bit extra early today. Better to be safe than sorry. Let me mention these temperatures. Average high around 55 degrees, so well above average temperatures today, tomorrow, and then look what happens on Thursday, 68 before we cool down on Friday, and then slowly rebound back into the 60s by Sunday into Monday. Today, though, temperatures will be hovering around 67 degrees. Scattered rain showers will be continuing throughout the day, and our extended forecast outlook does show rain picking up in intensity on Wednesday. Then starting to move out by Thursday, and Friday, Saturday looks clear with cooler temperatures in the mid to upper 50s.
Loving this fall weather.
I know, lightening up as the week goes on. I'll take it. Sounds good.
Cold will be here eventually, folks.
We'll be right back.
I was a public health nurse for 29 years. I went into the homes of my neighbors, including many seniors, and cared for them. Then Paul LePage became governor, and everything changed. He kicked seniors off Maine's low-cost prescription drug plan. He cut a Social Security program when it was needed most, and even opposed Meals on Wheels funding. How cruel is that? We can't go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
I'm Jared Golden. Seeing some Washington politicians try and enrich themselves makes you think of this. That's why I'm working to clean up Congress by banning members from using insider information to trade individual stocks, and why I'm leading the way to stop taxpayer-funded pay raises for Congress. And I'm not taking any PAC money from big corporations that already have too much influence in Washington. I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message to clean up Congress.
He'll be safe in there.
Help keep what's important to you safe with Chevy Safety Assist, standard on these Chevy SUVs.
Find new safe places. Find new roads.
Qualified lessees with a current eligible lease can get this Equinox for around $269 a month. Or get $1,200 cash allowance on all 2022 Equinox models when you purchase.
I served our country during the Gulf War. We were fighting for freedom in the Middle East. But in Washington, Bruce Poliquin would take away freedoms Mainers have earned. He voted for a nationwide abortion ban and said he supported changing the Constitution. Poliquin would allow politicians to stand between women and their doctors, even in cases of rape and incest. We didn't fight for our freedoms for politicians like Bruce Poliquin to take them away.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
We turn now to the alarming rise in overt anti-Semitism. The investigation in Los Angeles after several people were seen hanging anti-Semitic signs from a bridge over the 405 freeway, some giving a Nazi salute. One sign also saying Kanye is right regarding his recent public anti-Semitic remarks. Authorities now warning anti-Semitic incidents have hit an all-time high in our country. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman has more on the story.
Tonight, those banners over one of LA's busiest freeways drawing nationwide condemnation and concern. The banner reads, Kanye is right about the Jews, unfurled by white supremacists seen given the Nazi salute. The hip-hop artist Kanye West, known as Ye, has given a series of bizarre interviews in recent weeks peddling anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. And he topped those rants with this tweet, saying he was going on DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
He literally has leapt to the front of the line as probably the most visible and the most vicious anti-Semite in America today, and maybe even in public life in general. It's stunning. It's shocking.
And critics are saying it's catching on. The night after those banners, leaflets blaming Jews for COVID appearing around Los Angeles, including Beverly Hills.
As a daughter of the survivor of the death camp, Auschwitz, I just felt like I literally couldn't breathe. And our community was in a state of shock.
Anti-Semitic incidents reaching an all-time high in 2021, more than 2,700 cases of assault, harassment, and vandalism, up 34% from 2020. Ye's anti-Semitic rhetoric causing the French fashion house Balenciaga, the talent agency CAA, and JP Morgan all to sever connections. And last week, the hip-hop artist seemingly taunting Adidas, which sells his pricey Yeezy line, on the Drinks Champs podcast, saying,
I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me.
On October 6th, Adidas saying that its relationship with Kanye West was under review, but we've not heard from the company since then. In the meantime, it continues to sell the popular Yeezy brand of sneakers. Now, the ADL calling Adidas' silence deafening and dangerous.
Police continue to search for answers following a terrifying school shooting in Missouri. A 16-year-old girl and a 61-year-old woman were killed when a gunman opened fire at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School in St. Louis on Monday morning. The gunman was quickly stopped by police during an exchange of gunfire. 7 other victims, ranging from 15 to 16 years old, were hospitalized with injuries including gunshot wounds, police said. All were currently listed in stable condition, according to police. During a press conference Monday evening, police identified the suspect as 19-year-old Orlando Harris, a former student who graduated from the high school last year. Police said Harris has no prior criminal history, and they're working to establish a motive, saying Monday night there are suspicions that there may have been some mental illness that he was experiencing.
Well, Israeli forces raided a stronghold of an armed group in the occupied West Bank's second largest city, blowing up an explosives lab and engaging in a firefight. That's according to the military today. 5 Palestinians were killed, 20 wounded, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The overnight raid in the old city of Kasbah of Nablus was one of the deadliest in the West Bank in 2022 and comes at a time of escalating tensions. More than 125 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli-Palestinian fighting in the West Bank and East Jerusalem this year. The fighting has surged since a series of Palestinian attacks killed 19 people in Israel during the spring. Well, still to come on the second half of our broadcast, Bangor Parks and Rec combining 2 annual kids' Halloween events into one tomorrow night.
Plus, we'll get a glimpse inside a local bakery. This and more local news as Good Morning Maine continues.
Joe Biden is crushing Maine. And who does Jared Golden support?
Golden's backing Biden.
Jared Golden said Joe Biden has
leadership that the country needs right now.
Higher taxes, record inflation, and still
Golden's backing Biden.
In D.C., Joe Biden relies on Jared Golden's votes.
President Joe Biden, I'm asking you to vote for Jared Golden.
Jared Golden says he's independent, but anytime it matters, Golden's backing Biden.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. There are 67 days left in the year. On this day in history, in 1919, America the Beautiful was first published.
In 1983, President Ronald Reagan ordered U.S. troops to invade Grenada, saying the action was needed to protect U.S. citizens.
And in 1962, during a meeting of the UN Security Council, the U.S. ambassador presented photographic evidence of Soviet missiles based in Cuba. Today's birthdays include pop singer Katy Perry. She's 38 years old.
38. Political strategist, James Carville is 78.
And it's also the birthday for artist Pablo Picasso, who was born in Spain back in 1881. How about that?
And I know I've already said it. I think I said it in the 6th, but his blue period was meant to signify a time when he was sad, but they're so pretty, and I would put those in my house too.
It's it's all in the eye of the beholder, really. I mean, one person looks at it, the other person may not, but
Hey, the saddest artists are usually some of the most talented.
Whether they're writing a song or painting a picture, it's so true. It
right.
kind of inspires you. You get those deep feelings going on.
Right. Whoa, deep conversations in this
8
o'clock hour.
Too early for that.
Yes.
So.
Let's throw it over to Conrad to cut us off from this one.
Please.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. It's Tuesday, and our first weather is brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with a large supply of ammo in stock. Custom Damascus knives, fishing supplies of all kinds, concealed weapons classes, and a full line of Dragonfly UV tackle, plus the latest in ultraviolet tackle. Call today. I would definitely give them a call with all this weather outside. Rain showers, not the nicest day to do anything really outside. Scattered showers are in the area right now. And doesn't look like much is left, but hey, there's always going to be more coming in. Right now, a little bit still lingering in upstate New York, close to Connecticut. But all of this right here by Chicago, all of that heavier rain will continue to move this way. Just like that, as it continues to move north and east, we will get more rain. We do also have some fog in the area, low visibilities with some of that rain as well. Half a mile visibility in Bangor and pretty much across the state, near zero in some locations. So really slow down, take extra precautions for your morning commute. But once that fog lifts, temperatures will rise. 67 degrees as a high today. Scattered rain showers continuing throughout the day. Tonight will be very mild, close to 60 degrees as a low. Wow, for this time of year, this is well above average. Cloudy skies, some really light rain, it might be possible, and areas of dense fog once again will be developing. And later on today, we'll continue to warm up as high temperatures reach those mid to upper 60s. Craig and Emma?
All right, thank you, Conrad.
And now shining the spotlight on a community business and its owner, Sheila Bryant can't seem to stay out of her kitchen. It's her happy place.
Yeah, it's a good place to be, too. The Clifton resident recently built a commercial kitchen next to her home where she cooks up quite a business with her savory meals and desserts. Jody Hersey has the story.
And I've always said, when I grow up, I'm going to have a kitchen of my own. And now I do.
Sheila Bryant's dream of cooking for the masses has become a reality. Every day she crosses her lawn and heads to her new commercial kitchen and bakery in Clifton called Sheila's Main Treats to whip up something good.
If somebody says, I'd like a chili or a shepherd's pie, I'll do it right up. If somebody says, I want chocolate chip cookies or pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, I'm on it.
From single portion meals for the elderly and homebound to large sheet pans filled with home-style cooking to feed a large family or supply a business luncheon, there's nothing Sheila can't make.
I have people that storm this place for the chocolate chip cookies and the Oreo balls. And the hearty meal would have to be Thanksgiving casserole, which is to die for, or my lasagna.
Bryant also takes her talents on the road and caters weddings and other events.
I even did my first charcuterie board, and it came out amazing. I was so excited.
She's received rave reviews from customers who can't help but gush over her food on her Facebook page.
My mom always said I had talent, and I never believed her. And Mama started this with me. She did pass away, and I know she's still here with me now, because every once in a while the pan will fall or something loud will happen, and I'll say, okay, Mom.
Sheila says that whenever the flag is out, her doors are open and her ovens are on. So rather than driving by, motorists should stop on in and try a treat for themselves.
Every day it's getting busier and more fun as it goes on. I love it.
In Clifton, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
It's been torture watching that all morning long.
I'm going to have to find a bakery. I wish she was more nearby. Clifton's a little bit out of the way for us here, but I go to Clifton occasionally, so I'll make a trip next time.
I'll have to swing by. I know exactly where they are, too. So.
Well, tell me, and I'll swing by, too.
I have to get some of those cinnamon rolls.
They looked perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, kids in Bangor are invited to take part in a fun Halloween event. Parks and Rec Department holding a special gathering Wednesday night called Touch a Truck or Treat.
It will allow kids to do some safe trick-or-treating while getting out to check out emergency vehicles and more.
It kind of combines two of our bigger events, and it's right before Halloween, so it's not going to interfere with their Halloween plans, but give them a chance to get out and kind of honk the horns, touch the trucks, sit in them, and do all that fun stuff.
People are encouraged to dress in their Halloween costumes and enter Bass Park from the agricultural entrance on Buck Street. It will all take place Wednesday from 6 until 7:30 p.m. The event is free of charge.
All right, when we come back, Tyler Cruz will have all the day sports news.
We'll be right back.
If you're a Medicare beneficiary and live in the area, call now to see how this little card could get you some big benefits, including money added back to your Social Security check. With one toll-free call, you can find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage, plus extra benefits. You get an all-in-one plan designed to fit your needs so you can be your best every day. You could have medical coverage, prescription drugs with $0 generics, dental, vision and hearing, plus the WellCare Visa Flex Card, money for over-the-counter items, and money back in your Social Security check each month, and so much more. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare plan for a $0 monthly premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 monthly premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 1-866-819-7962 now. There is absolutely no obligation for requesting this free information. WellCare offers benefits that go beyond the basics, including money added to your Social Security check to help cover your Part B premium. Call today to get your free copy of the All-in-One Guide with absolutely no obligation. Your free plan guide will give you the details you need to make a smart choice for your Medicare coverage. Just call 1-866-819-7962. Remember, there's no obligation for requesting this free information. So call 1-866-819-7962. WellCare. Call today.
This family's hanging on to a lot of secrets.
Let me tell you, the guy's gonna cut you down.
Monarch, tonight on Fox.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some baseball. Sorry to all you Yankee fans up here. Not really, but the Astros completed the ALCS sweep of New York on Sunday night, officially sending Houston back to the World Series. A big part of their postseason success was doing the same thing in Orono just years ago.
Your ALCS MVP is the rookie Jeremy Pena. Congratulations!
Wow, huh? I was not that surprised that he was doing so well, or that he's even in the big leagues. But you really, wow. My father called me up and was like, "The damn Yankees, Nick." I go, "Yeah," and I am so, I'm a Jeremy Pena fan as far as that goes.
Just 4 years after leaving Orono for Houston, Jeremy Pena is becoming a household name in the MLB. Now, just the 5th rookie to win a championship series MVP.
It's surreal. You dream about this stuff when you're a kid, and shout out to my teammates. We show up every single day. We stay true to ourselves all year, and we're a step away from the ultimate goal.
What's watching the same person play against much better players, and he is like massively much more enormous than he was when he was playing. So it's a very recognizable Jeremy Pena.
Pena slashed .333 with 2 homers and 4 RBI in the series. Most notably, this one. A 3-run shot to tie things up in the eventual series-clinching Game 4 to send them to the World Series.
It's a dream come true to be here. And, it's awesome. It's awesome. We've battled all year, and to get to this point is special.
For Durba, Pena is the first player he coached in college to get to the MLB, making it a little tough to watch sometimes, especially this postseason.
I actually have trouble watching the games. I can't watch it. I'm so emotionally involved in his success that I had to turn it off. So I usually just watch the recap. I'm actually kind of worried because when my son Benjamin's playing, if I'm this nervous now watching someone play, I might be the worst sideline father there is.
And while Pena's success is no shocker to the guys at Mahaney Diamond, maybe they didn't expect this much this early.
I don't know if I saw that coming. I'm not surprised he's as good as he is, but he's an ALCS MVP, and it's how do you put words to that?
Some positive words there for Pena. Let's stay with the University of Maine now. This past weekend, Maine football could not continue their winning streak to 3 games, falling on the road to Stony Brook. It looked good right off the bat for the Black Bears. They built a 20-7 lead over the Seawolves in the middle of the second quarter. 2 touchdowns for Joe Fagnano in the first half. He had a career day. Racked up over 300 yards in the air and led Maine in rushing on the day as well. But the second half was a different story. Stony Brook able to get back in the game and take a late lead. And then Maine missed a go-ahead field goal with just under a minute left. So they fall to 2-5 and 2-2 in conference.
But, in the second half, felt like we just gave them some momentum. They were able to hit some plays and then really build off that. And, really thought we fought well throughout the duration of the game, but just left too many windows for them to get back in. And they fought hard, and all credit goes to them in terms of how they finished and just came up short at the end.
Richmond is next up on Saturday at home. Let's move on to some high school sports now. Quarterfinals for high school sports begin this week. A lot of good matchups over the next few days on Tuesday and Wednesday on the soccer and field hockey fields before we then get into playoff football on Friday. Let's check out these games. Oxford Hills at Bangor at Cameron Stadium on Tuesday. That's at 4. And then John Baptist and Herman square up. That is also at Cameron Stadium. Herman and Nokomis field hockey were supposed to play Tuesday at Nokomis. That is now Wednesday at Thomas College. And then also on Wednesday, Brewer boys soccer heads to Oxford Hills. That one is at 3:30. Good luck to all the teams as they pursue that one goal, the gold ball. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
The time is now, New England. Medicare annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. Hey, I know the glory of a final second win, but don't leave your health care decision up to a Hail Mary. And now it's more important than ever to have a team you can count on. United Healthcare offered some of the first Medicare Advantage plans in New England and is the only company with plans in all 6 states. Now, with more than 250,000 members, they're the leader. But it's not all about being the biggest. Trust me, I know. Sure, all their plans give you access to top doctors and hospitals throughout New England. as well as the nation's largest network of Medicare providers with no referrals. They're also affordable with $0 premium plans in every state, free primary care visits, eye and hearing exams, and no copays for labs, virtual visits, mammograms, and colonoscopies. There's coverage for glasses and hearing aids, and many plans have comprehensive dental benefits. Beyond the benefits, United Healthcare cares. Whether it's diabetes, heart disease, a disability, a knee replacement, United Healthcare has personal navigators, a single point of contact to help you get healthy so you can live your best life. United Healthcare is also the only plan to offer Renew Active with free gym memberships, thousands of online workouts, brain exercises, recipes, healthy lifestyle tips, and rewards for staying active. There are credits for over-the-counter items like vitamins and aspirins and zero copays on hundreds of prescription drugs. You may even get rewards for routine care like annual checkups and certain preventative screenings, all backed by one of the most trusted companies in the country and the Medicare Advantage leader in New England, United Healthcare. Choose and stick with the plan that is in it for the long game. Find out which United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan is right for you. Call 1-800-236-3146 or visit uhcnewengland.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. We're here with Jonathan Barry. He's the artistic director for Penobscot Theatre. Jonathan, thank you for being with us this morning.
Real pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and you're here to talk about the most recently premiered show and the upcoming ones. Can you discuss the most recently premiered one?
Sure. We have so much going on. We just opened Matt and Ben, which is a comedy by Mindy Kaling from The Office and The Mindy Project.
I love her.
And Brenda Withers. It is a hilarious, remarkable romp. It is the story of how Matt Damon and Ben Affleck maybe came upon the script of Good Will Hunting. It's got a little bit of mystery. It kind of falls from the ceiling, completely formed, and then they have to decide, is this a gift? Is this a curse? What are we going to do with this? And is the friendship going to actually sort of survive this sort of intervention? And
Gotcha.
It's hilarious. It is two actors. They've done really smart casting with it. So Brenda and Mindy were maybe 23 when they wrote it, and
Wow.
They decided to write themselves two great parts. So you're watching two women playing the roles of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and it's fun to think of what she's become now, but to think of a young Mindy Kaling thinking like, I want that kind of success.
Yeah.
What is that going to? What would that do for me? Two actors, Jen Shepard and Tina Munoz Pandya, are in the play, and we opened last weekend. Run just 2 more weeks, so it's a quick run.
Gotcha.
But hilarious, and if you need a little bit of an uplift, it's a great time.
I know, especially right now in spooky season, we're seeing a lot of horror. We had Ben Lehman on the
Yeah.
show last week, so it's great to have comedy mixed in with horror shows, so this is perfect.
Spooky funny.
Yeah. And coming up, though, too, I mean, you said you're busy. We're already thinking about the holidays, right?
Believe it or not, Dave Barry wrote a novel, maybe 20 years ago, about called Peter and the Starcatcher, which is the origin story of Peter Pan. So if you've ever wondered about like how the boy who could never grow up became that, or how Captain Hook, actually became from a regular pirate into the sort of villain that we all know, this story tells a remarkable, hilarious, sort of very family-friendly journey of how these people become the sort of beloved figures that we know. It's incredibly funny. It's pirates and mermaids and fighting prawns and crocodiles, and really all the big key sort of points you're going to see, they took this idea and they sort of turned it a little bit, and then oh my gosh, there he is with the hook at the end, right? It's a remarkable, funny story, and we're thrilled to offer it to the holiday crowds.
Literally and figuratively with the hook.
Yes, it's such a surprise. I won't give it away, but it is an incredibly clever way to finally end. And you do, it's just in the last couple of minutes, you're like, oh, and there it is.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites. Yeah.
Part of one of the reasons you're here today is you want people to know there is live theater happening right here in the city of Bangor, and get out and enjoy it.
I am a true believer, for sure. Theater has been a huge part of my life, and I just know that for me, there is nothing like the experience of sitting in the dark with a group of people and sort of having a story kind of come to life in front of your eyes. And I think that truly is the magic of the theater, right? You're not dealing with a CGI screen. You're not dealing with sort of hours of post-production. You're watching the thing happen live in front of you. And, I desperately missed it in the time when I was sitting at home in my living room with Netflix and not going out. And I think that we've all gotten a little bit out of the habit of like, oh, this is a thing that I really love and enjoy. And I don't want to carve into family time, but this is another way to sort of like spend some really great time with your loved ones in a great environment.
Right.
Additionally, with as our sort of secondary holiday show, we have a thing called Another Kickin' Your Dickens, which is, yes, exactly. We're early morning, so I won't say too much about that. But it is a completely improvised, two characters going all the way through the story of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Based on your suggestions. So
we are about out of time here. We got the wrap, but I'm sure they can go right to the website.
Penobscottheater.org is where you can get tickets.
Perfect.
And we'd love to see you at the theater. Thanks so much for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much, Craig and Emma. Our main weather today is brought to you by Crosby Sports Shop with a large supply of ammo in stock. Custom Damascus knives, fishing supplies of all kinds, concealed weapons classes, and a full line of Dragonfly UV tackle, plus the latest in ultraviolet tackle. Call today. All right, rain, go away. Once again, rain showers are in the area. It is all scattered and light. A couple of rumbles of thunder are possible closer to Machias, but all that is continuing to move out of the area. Doesn't look like we have much rain left, but just to the west, right by Chicago, Wisconsin area, all that rain will continue to push north and east. And as it does, we will get hit with more incoming rain. That heavier batches of rain will be here pretty much by tomorrow early afternoon, lasting throughout the day, really picking up in intensity. Maybe some rumbles of thunder could be possible, especially by the coast, so do not be surprised, but really heavy rain overall will be moving in before finally starting to taper off overnight on Wednesday. So Thursday looks pretty good for us. We're thinking anywhere from half an inch to an inch of rain. A couple locations will get a lot more than that. Look at Bar Harbor coming in at 1.36. This is an estimate. They might get close to 1.5, maybe even 2 inches of rain in localized spots. Dew points are also a little bit on the higher end today, tomorrow, and then once again on Thursday. But look what happens right after that rain moves out. Really drops significantly. So by Friday morning and then right in time for the weekend, it is going to look perfect. Not going to feel as sticky as it has been feeling the last couple of days. We do also have some dense fog in the area, half-mile visibility in Bangor, and pretty much near half a mile to a mile all across the state. Besides Bar Harbor is one of the only locations coming in with pretty much no fog in the area. So leave a little bit extra early today. Better to be safe than sorry. Let me mention these temperatures. Average high around 55 degrees, so well above average temperatures today, tomorrow, and then look what happens on Thursday, 68 before we cool down on Friday, and then slowly rebound back into the 60s by Sunday into Monday. Today, though, temperatures will be hovering around 67 degrees. Scattered rain showers will be continuing throughout the day, and our extended forecast outlook does show rain picking up in intensity on Wednesday. Then starting to move out by Thursday, and Friday, Saturday looks clear with cooler temperatures in the mid to upper 50s.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hear that music?
it can only mean breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. Imagine a fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, plus your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. That's right, the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and sausage, egg, and cheese bagels are all back, but only for a limited time at McDonald's.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
Veterans need a congressman who's got their backs. Jared Golden does. Jared's a veteran himself and worked with Republicans and Democrats to get the VA to build an inpatient facility in Maine to treat mental health and substance use disorders. Bruce Poliquin didn't have my back. Poliquin helped create a commission that wants to close VA facilities across Maine, forcing veterans to travel even further for VA care. Veterans can't trust Bruce Poliquin.
This Veterans Day, join Fox ABC Maine as we salute and honor our veterans. Are you an active, inactive, or retired member of the armed services? Do you know someone who is? Then upload your photos on foxbangor.com/Maine Heroes. We will randomly select as many veterans as possible to win a gift card. Locally sponsored by C&K Variety, Goose River Farms, Herman Motor Company Used Cars, and Pat's Pizza Hamden.
And let's switch gears and see what Howard is making for us today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Many of us grew up eating basic tacos. Well, those are great. I want to introduce you to a trendier version of them that's inspired by the food truck craze. They're called street tacos, and there's about 100 different ways to make them. They're usually made with small, soft corn or flour tortillas that are stuffed with all sorts of fillings. And since they're smaller, they're easier to eat on the go. For our quick version, we start by cutting up half a pineapple and placing most of it in a blender. The rest we'll set aside for later. To that, we add some canned chipotle peppers, lime juice, a bit of vinegar, and a bunch of south of the border spices. After this is blended, we pour it into a skillet along with some beer and chopped red onion. Once it's hot, we'll stir in some rotisserie chicken that we've shredded up. Then all that's left to do is build our tacos. We do this by spooning our chicken filling onto some warm tortilla shells and topping them with some chopped onion, the pineapple chunks that we set aside, and some crumbled goat cheese. To get the recipe for our sassy chicken street tacos, simply head over to our website. I'm Howard with Senorita Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a street-worthy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you have in your mouth?
Yummy. And if you don't like pineapple, try mango. Put that in your pico de gallo. And
good call.
It's really good.
It is Taco Tuesday.
A little Cholula sauce on top.
Good call.
Now we're talking.
Good call.
Now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
That's just something I've heard people say.
The Fox sitcom Call Me Kat pausing production following the death of one of its stars, Leslie Jordan. Jordan died Monday in a single-car accident in Los Angeles at the age of 67. The Emmy-winning character actor was best known for roles on Will and Grace and American Horror Story and in the movie The Help.
I've gone viral.
And during the pandemic, he found a new audience of millions on social media with his ability to make people smile. Kanye West now without representation in Hollywood. His agency CAA has dropped him. This comes after the rapper repeatedly used interviews and social media to perpetuate stereotypes about Jewish control of the media and financial institutions. Also, MRC Entertainment has shelved a finished documentary about West, saying it cannot support any content that amplifies West's platform. It's going to cost you more to watch Ted Lasso, Apple TV Plus, with its first ever price hike since the streaming service launched almost 3 years ago. It's going from $5 a month to $7, the annual plan going from $50 a year to $70. The price also going up for Apple Music, as well as the company's entertainment bundle, which includes video games. And happy birthday to Katy Perry. The superstar singer and American Idol judge is 38 today, while the Office actor Craig Robinson is 51.
I love Craig Robinson. He's funny as heck.
I know, yeah. I do too.
Yeah.